Good morning, everyone, and welcome to chapel. It's a delight to welcome you here. We have a special group of people we would like to introduce who will be sharing the moment of our chapel this morning. Our first speaker is Dr. Chris Hoff. Chris currently serves as the Associate Pastor of Adult Ministries at the West Campus of Second Baptist Church. He's also an adjunct professor of theology at HBU, as well as the Montana Wilderness School of the Bible. In addition, he serves as a chaplain to 3 law enforcement agencies. Chris received his BA in Theological Studies from the Moody Bible Institute, his Master of Theology from DTS, and his Doctor of Ministry also from DTS. Our second presenter today is Avis Blake-Thomas, who received her Master of Christian Education from DTS in 2013. She's the co-founder and president of the Open Bible Academy, a ministry she formed in 2013 with a DTS colleague. Avis is a member of Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church, where she serves in many leadership roles, and previously served on the staff of Inspire Women Incorporated, where she was responsible for the planning and marketing of its annual citywide conference, and also taught their monthly Bible study to women in ministry and leadership. Our third presenter is Reverend Daymond Wilkins, who obtained a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, while on a NROTC scholarship. Presently, he is employed by St. Luke's Hospital as a registered nurse. Damon was blessed to graduate in 2015 with a Master of Theology from DTS, Houston, and is currently pursuing his PhD in preaching from Midwestern. So Dr. Hoff, you're up first. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Fong. Thank you for the invitation. It's good to be back home. Although I don't live far from here, it is very good to be back. When I did my studies here, we were across the street, and I recall whenever it got too cold or it flooded, the lights would go out, water would come through the ceiling, and so you have all moved on up to the east side, as we like to say. So DTS changed my life. DTS gave me a foundation not only of theology, but of life. I came out of the Moody Bible Institute, a Pharisee of Pharisees, ready to disagree with anybody that disagreed with me. I had a water pistol that was full of theological knowledge and hermeneutical and homiletical that I would shoot at anybody gladly. And then I got to DTS and all that changed. And so I just want to highlight 3 things that I learned here that I believe helped me and may be of benefit to you as well. The first thing that I learned when I came here is there are more important things than being right. So many times we like to be right with our theology or our school or these things, and there is so much more to do in the kingdom than be right. And those are things that I learned sitting through classes, disagreeing with people that were saved by the same blood of Christ that I was, and I learned that there could be benefit in that. There could be great benefit in diversity, in knowing and seeing other people's backgrounds. And so many times we like to just talk about me, myself, and I. Slow down. Slow down. There's going to be times where you need to die on that hill of rightness, but most of the time, it's not worth it. Find the diversity. Find where you can have common ground. I promise you, it will get you farther, not only in life, but in ministry as well. So, more important things than being right. The second thing I learned here is that one of the greatest apologetic tools we have is listening. And sometimes as believers, we're really bad at listening because we like to talk. We like to get our point of view or our church or our pastor or our message. And one of the things I learned to do here was just to slow down. I had a professor that will remain nameless that said, Chris, one of the most spiritual things that you can do sometimes is just shut up. It was hard at the time, but now being removed from seminary and removed from a doctoral program and doing ministry and doing things, I found that's incredibly true. Listen to people. They will come to you because of the training that you have. Just by virtue of you saying you went to Dallas Seminary, they will come to you with questions. They will come to you with concerns. Listen to these men and women. Listen to these youth people that are in your student groups or people that come in the doors of your church, they want to be heard. Listen to them. Sometimes as Christians, as evangelicals, we're really good at saying this is what we believe, and if you're with us, you're with us, and if you're not, you're against us. We've got to break that. And that starts with each one of us individually. So, being right, not so much. Talking all the time, not so much. Listening is great. The third thing that I learned here is that you have an incredible opportunity being here. You will get some of the finest Bible training around. I believe the best. You will study all the books of the Bible line by line. They will make sure of that. You will be tested. You will be tried. You will feel like you are being put through something you never imagined. But with great opportunity comes great responsibility. And so when you leave here, I believe that's when ministry really starts. That's when you will put to practice the tools that you have been given, the things that you know that you have mastered or you have looked at, that you have parsed over and over and over again. See, where we sit right now is the most diverse city in the United States of America. Do you know that? Just west of here in Katy, there's a zip code, 77494. It's the most sought-after area code in the United States. God has literally brought the nations to Houston, Texas. And I always get tickled when somebody says, well, I need to go share Christ, across the water or across the sea. And I say, all you got to do sometimes is just go next door. And we have such a great responsibility. So you will get information and you will get knowledge. But don't let that be a barrier to transformation and to responsibility that God is giving each of you. You each have a sphere of influence. And that sphere may be your family. It may be the guy or the lady in the cubicle next to you. It may be a student or somebody in your church. But take the opportunity that God has given you and marry that with the incredible responsibility that we have to reach the lost for Jesus Christ. Because time is short. Time is short. And we have a great opportunity. Make sure you take that seriously with the responsibility that God has given you. Thank you so much for your time. It is good to be back home.
Good morning. Hi, Dr. Kreider. So happy to see you. It is good to be back home, as he said. DTS is an incredible place where I grew significantly. Now, I know this is preview day, so how many, I know, and there are students here today too because classes are going. How many are here for preview day? Okay, great. If you're previewing, and that means that some of you have made a decision maybe to come to DTS and some of you are still trying to decide if you're coming to DTS, I would like to share with you a bit of my journey of how I got here. I call myself have done the tour de Seminary. I went to at least 2 or 3 seminaries before I landed at DTS. So if you're curious about some of the others, I can tell you about them. But what I do know is that when I landed here, I knew I was in the right place, that I was home. DTS has its motto of teach truth and love well, right? And it actually does indeed do that. I graduated in 2013. Myself and Tina Brown, we graduated together. We formed the Open Bible Academy. And one of the charges that I was given when I had the opportunity to speak to you all this morning is, how did DTS equip me for ministry? How did what I learned here help me do what the Lord had assigned us to do? So the Open Bible Academy is a donor-supported Bible school here in Houston that is available to anyone whom the Lord has given the desire to want to learn His Word. We serve as a place for those in the church that want a deeper understanding of the words. Maybe they're a Sunday school teacher or a discipleship training teacher, or they lead a ministry, and going to seminary or going to Bible college is maybe not even necessary for what they do, but they want to know more. We're there for them. And we're also there for those who do want to make the trek They want to come to DTS. They want to go to Southwestern or wherever, but they need a little bit of undergirding before they're ready to matriculate. So that's what OBA does. And through DTS, we were prepared to begin to build that ministry. One thing is, I think when you come to seminary, you must already have a thirst for God's word. You want to know more. You want to be well equipped to serve in whatever capacity he has you to serve in. I already had that thirst, but then DTS just kind of just filled me up, if you will. It was overflowing. And so with that then becomes the responsibility. I've gained all of this great knowledge. I've allowed the Lord to use me in this way. Well, do we really allow the Lord to do things for us? Or he does them and we cooperate. Because we had been poured into in such a magnificent way, we wanted to pour back out. And so that's one of the things that we believe that DTS equipped us with, was just this desire to just continue to give it back, to give it back, to give it back. The other thing was very practical teaching. There's a course here that if you sign up, you're going to sign up for, I think it's CE 101. And what you learn there is how to build a Christian educational ministry. That is where we wrote the first business plan for the Open Bible Academy, was in a class at DTS. Isn't that cool? And so we had great guidance on what is the vision and the mission of what you're trying to do. Because you're going to come in here with various reasons for wanting to attend seminary. And then the question is, now that once you finish, what am I going to do with it? And so we have to know what God has called us to do. And you have to be able to articulate that. And so that's what DTS helped us to do in a very, very practical way. Dr. Karen Geeson taught that course. And if you go to our website right now, you will see the same things that we wrote in that course there in terms of the core values, the mission statement, the vision statement, how we put it all together. So yes, at DTS, you're going to be well equipped with Bible. As my friend over here said, you're going to learn it verse by verse, all 66 books. And it's going to be so much fun. And you're going to learn the theology. My favorite guy back there, Dr. Kreider, is if you sign up, take every single class that he teaches. I promise you won't regret it. You'll get that good sound teaching, but you'll also get the practical things that will help you be able to go back out into the world and deliver what it is that the Lord has tasked you with doing. The last thing I'll say is, one of the pieces that we try to do at OBA is not only teach Bible, but to make disciples and build community. That same thing happens here at DTS. When I walk in the door here, I see old friends. I see people who have now become family. Damon is going to come and speak in a few minutes following me. He was one of the original faculty members at OBA. Okay, so you have this tremendous pool of people that we can pull from that become like family, lifelong friends. Any DTS person that you meet across the globe, you'll have an instant connection to. And the diversity. It's a beautiful thing to be among so many different people coming from different places, but we all love the same God. So I encourage you, if you're still trying to decide, I don't know why you would leave here deciding not to come to DTS. It's one of the highlights of my life. It is absolutely the joy of my life to have been here. And it was such a privilege to have been a part of such a wonderful institution. So that's my 2 cents. I could keep talking, but they only gave me 10 minutes. I'm going to sit down now.
Hello, good morning. Just glad to be back. Glad glad to see a couple of old professors. Dr. Kreider, I took for Trinitarianism, and Dr. Johnston, who I took for all 5 semesters of Greek. Oh, boy. Whew! And so, again, just wonderful to be here again, and just to come and share a couple things on why DTS. For those who are here, the question, why come to DTS? Well, the first answer I will give is that God has and is gracing you with an opportunity. He's given you an opportunity. And if the opportunity has presented itself, then you need to take it. You're going to say, where will I get the money from? And that's a good question, because I had the same question that you have. But I was a registered nurse, and I went to school part-time here, so the THM took me more than 4 years, took me about 6 to 7 years. And after I calculated all of the expenses, tuition, and all of that, it came out to about $60,000 plus. Don't grasp, and don't, because I never had to take out a loan. I can't tell you how God did that, but God did that. Thank God for the scholarships given from DTS, and DTS has some strong donors. And through the scholarships, partial scholarships, and that, God blessed me not to take out a loan. Again, I don't know how God did that, but that's a testimony of mine, that if God graces you with it, He'll give you an opportunity to get you through. And so don't be fearful. I know you may be nervous. I know a lot of things may be coming in your head. But if God has given you this opportunity, that means He's graced you with it. And that means that He will supply the necessary tools, the necessary monetary things to get you through where you are. And then, why not seminary? Why not? We live in an ever increasingly biblical illiterate world, which you know, and which you come in contact with daily on your jobs, of course. And so God is gracing you and giving you this opportunity in order that you may grow and impact others. It's not for all head knowledge. Yeah, you'll know how to parse verbs. You'll know if this is a subjective genitive or objective genitive. See, Dr. Johnson, I remember. You'll look through Schaeffer's theology. You'll learn about Calvin's tulip and limited atonement. You'll learn all of that stuff, but you have to apply it. And it's not only to impact you, but it's to impact others around you. And the education that you're going to receive is numbered primarily for the glory of God. Keep that in mind. It's not head knowledge, it's heart knowledge. And so all of that, what you're going to do, and all that this education that you will perceive, and all these things that you will get, is for, number one, the glory of God, and then also to make disciples of other nations. Don't get lost. You're going to have so many classes. You're going to have a lot of readings. You're going to have a lot of resources. But don't lose focus of those two things. Your education is for the glory of God, and to make disciples of not just Caucasians and Asians and black folk, but to make disciples of all nations. And DTS will equip you to do that. It will set a foundation for you. It will give you the foundation that you need. As Dr. Fong mentioned, I'm in a PhD program at Midwestern in Kansas City in preaching. And thank God for this foundation here. Because when you start getting up there, then you start reading a lot of resources and a lot of things you have to kind of bring together. But DTS is where I got a good biblical, firm foundation. And here at DTS, it will prepare you, because Satan is after you. And Satan wants you. And so you can get a good foundation here, because you're going to have spiritual warfare until you die. And so I would recommend, there's no better place to start to get your foundation in the Bible, in the Word of God. The professors love what they do. They love God, and they love you. And you will be challenged, and Dr. Kreider will challenge you in a good way. And professors here will challenge you in order to make you better, in order that you may be stronger in the Word of God. So I would commend you to go forward with it. Life will not stop happening because you're in a seminary. Let me say that. Emergencies will come up. Your body will get sick. Family members will die. Life will happen to you. So life doesn't stop happening because you choose to enter seminary. That doesn't work. Life happens, but if God has graced you with it, then God will prepare you and give you what you need to get you through and see you through the courses So I would say go with God and go for it.